Yo, yo, yo. What up, squad? What up?
Today is a Zoom type of day. Hey, listen. I assume that the day is not over yet. Okay, that's the last of my jokes on that Zoom shit stuff. Sorry.
Hello, guys. This is
Hi,
awesome.
guys. We're live. We're live. Hi, people. How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
What's up, Izzy?
¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Mucho gusto.
It's cold outside.
So wait. I don't know if other people are going to join us, but please, while we are waiting to have this conversation, I hope that you guys are sharing this live. So please, pretty please, with cherries on top, share this live in as many spaces as you can in your personal platform. So if you're in Facebook groups, share in your personal page, share. We would love to make sure that enough people hear about this interesting findings, because this is the reason why we are going as hard as we are on this issue.
How do I share on? How do I share from here? Because I don't have the option. Everything I have on here.
Once you're in the live, you can't share. If you go in, like, if you, because you're on your phone, right? If you have a laptop or have a different device, you probably can share it from a different device.
Okay.
But once you in, unless you can toggle back and forth on your phone or whatever.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Oh, what you do is you're on your phone, so it's tough. But if you was on your computer, you can use your phone to share it from the South End Roxbury page. I think Father Jacob. Who else is joining us?
I know we're waiting for Father Jacob to join us, and anyone.
I just got off the phone with him.
He is here. He's here.
Hey, listen, man.
I want to screen share. What's up, Father Jacob? How are you?
Good. And you?
I'm doing great.
I'm already screenshotting, but you could go ahead.
Yo, Isa, what size is that TV? And what's your address again?
Who, me?
Isa.
Are you talking?
X.
I don't know.
She got that. You see that TV in the back? I'm trying to get real close to see the size. What size is that again?
I don't know. 42. I don't know.
No, 42. Just 42. You ain't got a 54-inch or something like that.
Mingos. Hold on. I'm not bragging, but I thought you was talking to me because look.
What size is that?
55.
What's the address again?
You dropped me off already. Don't even ask me that, bro.
I gotta try to remember. I'll be back.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all see this, y'all?
Well, they put the address in the bottom section.
Ooh.
Let me know if you want me to use my patient voice to describe this situation.
You gotta maybe put my glasses on.
Well, I was trying to see if we can get Tatiana on this too.
Yeah, let's see. No, Mr. Rosa, you seem like you just like Boston's public enemy number one around these days. Like, what is up?
Oh,
so
I guess go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I'm gonna read it. See? So for those that don't know, we're here because one of our squad members received a certified email, and we'll possibly be getting this in the mail too. A trespassing letter from what? From the Boston Public Health Commission, Domingos?
Yeah.
All right, so let's read it together, y'all. Dear Mr. DeRosa, my office has received reports that you have caused repeated disruptions on the site of certain facilities of the Boston Public Health Commission that are intended primarily for the provision of recovery services to individuals experiencing substance use disorder. In addition to instances, if people can mute themselves, it would be awesome. In addition to multiple instances Previously, on April 17th of this year, our staff reported that you were on site taking videos of staff and guests and made threatening comments to staff and guests when asked to leave and cease taking any additional photos or recordings in accordance with privacy laws and BPHC policy. The following day, April 18th, our staff observed you again taking pictures of guests and making comments to both staff and guests that made them concerned and uncomfortable. Wow, okay. Your pattern. Whoa. Your pattern.
Yo, it can't, hey, Mingo, can't take you nowhere, bro. We can't take you nowhere.
Tú estás pasado, bro.
But we are targets. If Mingo's a target in general, like we're targets, you know. Like I said, this is a squad. This is like whatever we need to do as far as, you know. But yeah, that's just a bunch of bullshit.
Let's see. Let's continue
this
to read.
A black man in America. That's what it is. Attacking the black man in America.
Well, you know, they try to kill us any way possible. If it's not, you know, through bullets from a police gun, it's through assassinating my character, you know, and this is what that's about. It's the same thing, you know, again, killing a black man by using any way possible where they have position of power.
Yep. Let's continue to read, right? It says,
is that you?
Hello?
Hello? Who was that?
Hey, maybe you can read it.
Someone's echoing.
I think everybody got to mute themselves.
Go ahead, Yadi. You can read it. We'll mute ourselves and then we'll come in one by one to figure out who's echoing.
All right, let's try it again. Yeah, it's something. I don't know. Let me see.
Hello? Oh.
Yeah,
can everybody speak up and then?
Yeah, we're all echoing. Somebody somebody have dual computers on right now?
It's Izzy. He has to mute himself.
Where is
I'm muted, so it couldn't be me.
I don't know what's going on.
Hold on, let me check something. Okay, we good now?
It's them androids.
It sounds better now.
Can I explain it? I could explain it. I was doing something else, and I guess I must have opened up a different the same link but twice.
Yeah, that's what it. Yeah, that happens all the time.
I got you. I take the blame for that one. Okay, I'm on mute.
Your pattern of behavior has caused significant disruption in the provision of services on multiple occasions and has caused staff on site who are not policymakers, but rather your fellow Boston residents working as public employees to feel unsafe while performing their official duties. Most importantly, your behavior has threatened the comfort and privacy of individuals who are seeking needed healthcare and recovery services in a way that we cannot allow to continue moving forward. Here we go. In the interest of protecting the ability of BPHC staff to effectively provide these services without disruption and to prevent privacy of the population that we serve, you are now on notice that you are forbidden from entering in or around the engagement center and comfort station spaces located or in the vicinity of 112 Southampton Street, which are operated by Boston Public Health Commission, for the purposes of providing direct services or government functions that your presence thereon will constitute trespass. And it gives you the pursuit of Mass General Laws 266-1209, Once an individual is put on notice that he or she may not enter a property controlled by another party and a subsequent trespass occurs, he or she may be subject to removal or immediate arrest without a warrant, and a complaint may issue for prosecution in any state court of appropriate jurisdiction. If you have specific questions or requests for information, please feel free to reach out directly and we will assist in processing. Also, if you personally require the services generally provided by Boston Public Health Commission at any of these sites at any point in the future, please contact me via email to discuss arrangements. Oh, and it was sent to Captain Leighton Facey, District B2 Captain, Captain Sweeney from District 4, Captain Joseph Boyle of District C6, and Deputy Fred Gary, Boston Public Health Commission. Interesting.
Feedback, comments, concerns.
Racism at its finest.
What's up, D?
Well, listen, I'm gonna tell you guys what it is, right? Again, they're trying to assassinate the character of an individual who's only been doing the right thing, right? This group has been advocating for months now to make sure that folks receive adequate support and services. We've watched staff members on countless occasions treat and speak to individuals with little to no regard as human beings. This is what initiated the conversation on the 17th. We were on Mass and Cast with the Mass Ave Project in collaboration to provide resources that are not being provided by the city. The city does not provide dry clothes after a rainstorm. City doesn't provide hot meals after the engagement center is closed. The city does not provide warm hugs, just a hug, a warm hug like we do. So when we entered, and I say we, because it wasn't just me, when we entered the engagement center, it was to use the restroom, not to cause any conflict, not to make no big scene. There was no cameras out. There was no photographer with us, like, you know, sometimes we do have the media with us, right? And the engagement began with y'all, right? Y'all don't belong in this area. Excuse me? What do you mean? We're using the bathroom. Y'all need to leave now. Well, when she finishes using the bathroom, we are leaving. That's not how you engage in conversation with people in general, regardless if I'm here as a visitor or as I was told, you're not a resident of Atkinson Street, so you gotta leave. It's a city building providing city services, and we were there, again, using the bathroom. There's 300 plus people in that area, and they have 3 porta potties open out of 8. There's 8 porta potties in that area, and 5 of them are locked. So that tells you how adequate the service is within the comfort station, within the engagement center. And again, as the letter states, we made people feel uncomfortable. The individuals that we engaged that was a part of that community was giving us big ups. Yo, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you spoke up, because when we do, we get kicked out. I said, that's not fair. That's not cool. So again, on that specific day, April 17th, I was accompanied by Father Jacob, who's on this call, and Sister Tatiana Lugo, who's also on this call. So for them to say that my behavior caused all this disruption and I was threatening people, there was people that was there with me. And what they didn't like was the fact that I was able to speak on my rights, to be able to educate them on some of the things that they lack on. If this was a restricted area, why isn't it fenced off? Why isn't there any barricades? Why isn't the fence locked? Why isn't there anything indicating that this is a restricted area? You can't assume everyone that comes to that into that area knows what the common rules and regulations are. There's no billboard that says what is the regulations and what is the guidelines to use the area, where you can go and where you can't go. Anywhere you go in the city of Boston, let's use a public park. There's a placard that says what the rules are for the playground area, right? You can't drink, you can't have your dog, you can't ride a bike, you can't do X, Y, and Z. But when you go down to this specific area, there's no rules and there's no regulations. So I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm gonna let you guys fill in the blanks and share some of your concerns, because again, this is a group effort, and again, you know, they're gonna single me out. Why? Because I guess I must be the best looking one.
It's not good to lie in front of a father.
No comment.
I beg for forgiveness.
But as someone who was there with you, I can attest to the situation. To give more context, as he said, we had a member from the squad, Tatiana, who's with us here, and who I hope shares part of that testimony as well, who needed to use a restroom. And for those who have known in that area, there are no restrooms in that area, at least no public ones, especially now because of COVID. And so there's only porta potties. 3 porta potties had lines on them. There were 2 to 3 individuals for each porta potty waiting for the line. And there seemed to be 2 angelic porta potties on the other side of the fence who were empty. Like he said, there was no signage that said the area was restricted. There was no gate. It was an open path. And so we directed Tatiana to use those restrooms instead of waiting in the line. Gentleman comes out, very aggressive. You know, what are you guys doing here? Who told you can be here? That tone in nature. And so, you know, what should the response be? He came aggressive. And so, you know, they see that our response was aggressive, but it wasn't. It was just us asking questions. Well, if we weren't supposed to be here, why is there not a sign? If we weren't supposed to be here, why is this not gated off? And he knew we weren't residents of there, just, you know, out of the socioeconomic, how we were dressing and things of that nature. He knew that we weren't residents of the comfort station or of the engagement center. But in reality, he knew. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, but, you know, being a lawyer, I kind of feel the need to say, not to talk too much about what the dialogue was at the time, because last thing we want is for later on for them to try to, you know, bring a criminal complaint against you guys. So we don't want to talk about exactly what was said. But I do have a quick question. Did they say that only residents can enter the porta potty? And if so, who is a resident?
Well, yeah, what they had engaged us with, that we weren't supposed to be in that area, that we weren't partaking of any services within that area, so we didn't have permission to even go in that area to use the porta potties.
No, but first they didn't say that yet. Remember, they were just like, you're not supposed to be in this area. Then when we came out and he continued to get on the phone and take his phone out, that's when he said, you guys are not residents of here and you cannot partake in anything here. Because initially he didn't say that. Do you remember?
So who's a resident?
That's the question I'm trying to ask everybody. Who's the resident? So here's where I have the problem. My mother and my family, as y'all know, I keep saying this, and this is on repeat. My mother's a resident. My mother has a Massachusetts state issued license. My mother resides in the South End Lower Roxbury. Her house has been almost broken into. She's been robbed. My sister lives on Mass Ave. Her car gets broken into all the time. If these are residents, why can't we issue harassment orders or criminal complaints on people who are doing criminal activities? So if we want to get technical, right? Because y'all want to get buck, we can get buck too, right? If y'all want to get technical, when can we issue criminal complaints? Right. I'm just trying to figure out the hypocrisy here, right? So we're making things okay for a certain demographics of people. And again, we understand the situation at hand. We know that the people are not in their right state of mind, and we respect that. But then if they're residents, where is the resident accountability on residents that live in that location? Because when they talk to us, they say individuals don't have IDs. They don't get any assistance. And every time we go down there, everybody's on SSI. And if you look at the pattern of what happens in that location, majority of the stabbings and criminal activities usually happen at the beginning of the month, which is when them checks drop in them accounts. Right? So I'm just trying to figure out, where's the disconnect here?
Who are the residents?
Yeah, basically. Like how does it connect? Now, as far as it going, that's in what they're talking about criminal charges. Okay, now the DA doesn't press no criminal charges over little petty stuff. Now you're gonna go on because it's Mingos, because it's him, you know, they looking at it a whole different way. Now they're willing to press charges towards somebody. Like I said, we don't want to just go arrest the drug dealers and go arrest, but if you're willing to do this towards him, why can't they do that towards the people that give them trespassing? Put it on them and put the law like they're doing. It makes no sense at all. It doesn't.
This sounds like a big cover up where the city is nervous that folks are exposing what's happening out there. Exactly. Because first off, you're residents. I mean, you walk in there.
Who's there?
It makes no sense that you can have drug dealers out there. You can have people walking in and out doing deals inside that facility. But then the moment Mingos walks in or other folks walks in, all these policies are in place where you're not supposed to be here. So it sounds like a big cover up where it's most likely coming from City Hall because it's election season and folks don't want to expose the fact that we have an open drug market. We have people dying out there every day, and it's just not a convenient time to talk about it. But unfortunately, it is the right time. And again, it sounds shady as hell because I'm pretty sure Domingos is not the only one that goes out there and does this work. And I find it crazy that they say that Domingos makes the folks feel unsafe because when we're out there, they know, some of them know Domingos by name. Staff have expressed the fact that they don't feel safe, not because of people that are doing outreach out there, but because of the drug dealing, the stabbing that's happening out there. So again, it seems like a big cover up. It sounds like folks are nervous at City Hall, at the Boston Public Health Commission. I hope that the federal government gets involved to start pointing out the illegal stuff that's happening out there. It makes no sense.
To add to what you said, right? The guy yells, "That's why I'm not voting for you."
So they know. So they know who, you know. They doing their research because out of the hundreds of people that are out there, for you to get spotted, a few people to get spotted, someone is talking, and it seems like again, it's just a big cover up where people are mad. Now. This is not just staying on Mass Ave. Now we got mayoral candidates talking about it. We got city councils at large talking about it. We have media outlets covering it. Now folks are getting nervous. But it is what it is. You can't hide. I mean, it's only into so long you can hide. People are dying on that street.
Well, I mean, to their defense, right? I was out there one day, and I didn't put nobody on video. We do like we always do. You're filming the ground or you're filming the sky. You get an audio or whatever. But we were showing how ineffective A-Hope is, city ran program, and we were able to get a footage, right, of myself sticking my arm into the little container that they have, and the guy puts a packet in my hand. I give Izzy, Isaiah's, right, so everybody can see who's. Because there's two Izzy on the group. Isaiah's, the packet, we open it, we show to the people that was with us how we were able to get 4 needles with no exchange. None, right?
Well, this is supposed to be a needle exchange program.
Right. So to prove the point, right? So I take my hat off, I give it to him. He's like, "Migos, you stupid." I said, "Watch this. I'll be right back." So I go back in, I stick my hand in, I get another pack, and I come right back out. This is on video. Right? And I'll say I did that to prove the point that the exchange program does not work. You can't continue to tell us that the reason why we're doing it is to keep the transmittable diseases low. When an article comes out saying that the HIV rates are getting higher and higher, and other diseases are on the upward, right? So,
Yep. Migos, look real quick. Migos, everybody, I'm sorry, real quick. Look, hold on. I'm just switching. Can I switch my camera? No. So look,
you don't want Android.
Yeah. All right. So listen. So even look, these are the ones that when you first went in there. Look, this is what they give. This is the first the one thing the first one that they gave him, and he went back in there and they gave him a different package with the same amount of needles. You know what I'm saying? So for everybody to see, you know, how much they give and how many of these needles do they get back.
Holding A-Hope accountable when it comes to the needle distribution, because if you're calling yourself an exchange, now it makes sense why, one, we're finding so many needles on our streets despite these numbers that they keep giving us, and two, it's clearly not working when we're out there and we're catching people trying to pick needles out of the fence to inject themselves with. So it doesn't make sense.
And needles, and if we can be even more clear, is needles that are not barcoded, needles that are not tracked to no one, right? So as he was giving a harassment order in Swampscott, and in Swampscott, they used the language illegally discarded needles. So in Swampscott, they used the language illegally discarded needles, right? And then here in Boston, it's just like, yeah, whatever. They could throw it in the trash. So it's not illegal here in Boston. These needles are not barcoded, guys, which is something that we brought up several times in our meetings where we're saying, how are you guys keeping track of all these needles that you're giving to individuals? How are we doing that? So if we're trying to find a database to see how many people are truly on mass and CAS, right? If we're trying to create a database of people who are looking for their loved ones who hit us up because they haven't found their loved ones or spoken to their loved one in months, or messaging us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, where's the database that they're collecting when anybody can go in and get a pack of needles without no identification, no nothing? So how do they go from not having IDs to having IDs? To having an address, but they're unhoused? I'm like, make it make sense, yo. Like, I'm just trying to understand. I don't know who's confused, but I'm really confused.
I'm with you on that.
Listen, this is why I love you guys, right? People are sending me videos of that day that was filming the guy as we're talking. People are watching us on Facebook who was out there, and they're sending us videos. So I just emailed Yadi the video. If you want to share it, please, because these folks fail to realize that not everyone's in favor of what they're doing. Not everyone's in favor of the way they're treating people.
Yep.
Okay, we're not saying that they're doing the worst job on the planet. What we're saying is they need support. We've been advocating for them to get more support. How many times can you witness someone overdose before you're mentally scarred? How many times can you watch someone eject themselves and bleed? Like, I've watched people do this several times, and they're bleeding from their arms, their necks, their legs, walking down the street before you as a staff member begins to feel mental tension. Like, how much more can you take as a staff? You've been in there for 2 years watching this over and over and over, 7 days a week. When are you going to get a break so you don't have to deal with these issues?
Because it is traumatizing. I mean, when we're out there, like literally 5 minutes down on Atkinson Street, I need a break, because like you said, watching people bleed out, watching people drop, and this is happening every day.
Mm-hmm.
Something wrong, man. Jahada, you have a video there?
Yeah, can I play it? Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool.
This man want to go and call BPD, but they don't call BPD for other things. You want to call BPD because we were in using the porta potty. Like, come on.
Oh, the Migos had the suit. Okay.
I'm still waiting for BPD. But it wasn't trying to let nobody in because, again, we're shining the light on the way they treat people. The way they treat people is the reason why this issue is becoming bigger than it is. I understand they might be in here doing a job. I dig it. But you're doing a job. They get paid for it. Exactly. We don't get paid for coming out here. We come out here. We volunteer. We don't.
And these guys that were talking to me talk to me every time I come out there. They know me by first and last name. They let me know what they need. We come with what they need. We talk about where they're from. The dude I was talking to is a Spanish cat. He got me by 10 years. He's like 56 years old. He's been in Boston all his life. He's been on the streets for 30 plus years. And he can't find a bed to sleep on. He can't find a warm meal. Friday, when I told him about the letter, he sat down with his girlfriend, and me and him and her sat down and ate the salad that Nancy brought. And when we were talking, he was like, man, listen, keep doing what you're doing. I got your back. And I said to him, I got your back. We ate our salad. We drank our juice. We started laughing about some stuff that he was telling me, how some of those co-workers that work there, some of them mean well and some don't. Some treat them well and some don't. And this particular individual, because of his position and the position that he feels he has power over people, talk down to individuals, mistreats individuals, and then on the back end of it, folks don't go back for services. And this is what I'm being told by individuals down there that I speak to, that I know. And this is why it does not work. The engagement center does not work. On Sunday, we was down there with Mothers and More on the Mile, Chris's Project, the Damian Hughes page, South End Roxbury Community Partnership. We're forming a coalition with other groups. And we have a photographer who has been down there looking to see how they can help. And I had asked them, put your cameras away. I am more than willing to take you down the street if you don't feel safe. This is what I was being asked. Can you walk down the street with me? You know, I don't really feel too safe, but you can't take pictures. You can't bring your camera. If you do bring your camera, you got to leave it on your side. And we went from one corner all the way to South Bay, stood in front of South Bay. She asked me some questions on how she can help and how she can make a difference. And then we walked back. Then I was asked by the Chris's Project to take a walk with them because they don't feel safe. A lot of individuals who are helping are women, and they do not feel safe. And they have the right not to feel safe. When you have serial rapists in the area that no one pays attention to, even after individuals make reports about being sexually assaulted. We get that info from the streets, on the pavement. People who, the residents of Atkinson streets. And when we walked down there, we walked all the way to the jailhouse. We were giving out memorabilia cards for Sharon Crawford, who lost her struggles with substance use disorder, right? Because that's what they were down there doing, celebrating her life. And we were able to give out the cards and ask, did you see this person? Have you seen this person? If you see this person, contact this person, right? This is people who reach out to us asking for help to find loved ones. Then she said, you know what? Can we go inside the comfort station, the engagement center? I've never been in there. I don't know what it looks like. And she might be there. I said, no problem. So we walk in, we take a look around. We look to see who, what, where. No photographs, no cameras, nothing. We didn't locate the individual. They asked me a few questions. Do they have a bulletin board that people can come and post pictures?
Wow.
I said, doesn't look like that. I've been here a few times and I've asked and I get the pushback. You know, I get the red tape. I got to have a certain ID. If I don't have this ID, I can't get it. So I said to her, that's a great idea. I said, we can probably put one ourselves, right, Leon? I mean, you and I, Needles in the Park, is the ones that created the injection boxes, right? We're the ones that came up with the needle kiosk that we went to Home Depot, bought a mailbox.
Right next to your container, because they were, every time you went to go play, you used to find like 50 needles just thrown right there. And
we put it up. 2 days later, we go back and check it. It was 50 needles in there.
Yep.
And then 6 months later, the city want to come up with kiosks, but that's not the solution to the problem. So I said to her exactly what I just said to you guys. We did this. We can try it. We can put it on the wall. We can build something that we can probably, you know, over there at McDonald's, like anchor it to the ground and put up pictures where we can pin stuff, because families have called City Hall and gotten no response. Family has sent emails and got no response. There's not a direct line of communication to who or what is actually doing that piece of the outreach, right? Because we asked to speak to a supervisor. Supervisor can give us an answer. Gave us a number to an individual with no email.
Mingo, I'm sorry. At the end of the day, Mingos, you know they're targeting you. They've been targeting you for a minute, and we know this, right? That you are the target because they don't want you in City Hall, because they know that you're not going to be down with the status quo. You're not going to be sitting here leading to be liked, to use our people, our communities for self-gain, self-worth, and building your resume while we still poor in these streets. That's why you the target. And that's a
that
fact.
was evident. That was evident, Jahida, because I promise you, we went in there with total peace. Like we, you know, I'm just saying my piece and let y'all continue to talk so I can finish what I'm doing here. But I just wanted to get on for you guys to hear me personally. Like, I was appalled at the way that man was acting, because we're doing outreach work. You know what I'm saying? We're out here doing the same thing that y'all are doing, except y'all are getting paid for it. And Domingo and you know, everyone a part of the group is not getting paid for it. So instead of approaching Domingo how he approached Domingo, he should have been like, oh, okay, it's cool, you know, just next time don't come back here. You know, this is a closed off area. You know, we should have had it closed off, but it was open, because I believe that it was more of, first of all, number one, you made the mistake, because if something is closed, you should have the gate closed, number one. Number two, there should be a big sign saying this area is closed at this time, or whatever the case may be, because then we are not liable for going in there at all and using that porta potty. And like he said, the 3 porta potties, they were packed. There was a whole bunch of guys. Secondly, I'm a female. You can tell clearly the way I'm dressed. I'm not, you know, I'm not receiving services there. So instead of being on the same team, like, you know, these people are out here helping the community, doing the same thing, you know, that we do. Instead, he's coming at Domingo. And I feel like it got worse when I came out. Like, he was ego tripping. Like, now he sees that it's a female and he just wanted to get all, like, you know, more just rude, just get out of here. I'm going to make sure that you don't, you know, that you're not able to come here again. And it was just like a lot of, it seemed like he knew Domingo, like it was a personal vendetta. Like, I couldn't believe it. And that's why I took my phone out. I took my phone out instantly. When I seen the way he was acting, I was like, I have to get this on camera, because I already know that they're mad at Domingo. They're mad at the way he's, you know, he's coming, because like you said, he's not going for that. If he gets in office, he is not going for that. And a lot of people don't like that. Like, he's changing the game. And at the end of the day, Domingo, this needs to happen. Like, this, what happened, like, it's unfortunate that it has to get to that level where they're trying to put order, but you're making noise right now. You know what I'm saying? You're making noise on a whole nother level, and it's really clear. Like, it is so clear as day. And you don't even have to tell people here. They already know.
Give a couple, man.
What you said. But yeah, that's just it. Like, I'm just really, I'm saddened. Oh, and then I come to find out, my son's does that. He works there. I just found out, Domingo.
Well, T, you know, this is why I shared this with you guys. So y'all can understand we as a group are making waves in the pool. I spent 25 years as a lifeguard, and I only jumped in the pool when there was waves. When someone was able to scream help, when someone was able to wave to get your attention as a lifeguard is the only time you jumped in. All the other times, all the waves you've seen in the water and all the cheering you heard, you sat there and you watched. These folks have been screaming for help. We've been offering a lot of the solutions to the city, but because we don't hold specific titles within specific groups and come from a background that they want to be a part of the solution, we're left on the outside like the hopelessness.
Yep.
We're losing hope because every day that we fight and every day that we get up and we try to make a difference, and we can only gain an inch when we need to gain miles, when we need to gain, you know, we can't get back 40 years. We can't turn back 40 years. We're not going to be able to cover that in a week. But what we can do is bring on more hands to take some of the weight, to help us row ashore, to get us on the same direction. But when folks are afraid of exercising their First Amendment rights because the recourse or the aftermath that's going to happen from you demonstrating, like the officer was threatening us, this dude came out with a freaking, like, it looked like he went to the law library and came out with all the laws in his hands. This dude had a handful of regulations that he wanted to read to us with a bullhorn the first day we demonstrated on that Wednesday, because he was very excited about arresting us. Brought out 10 paddy wagons or transport vehicles.
Imagine if they put that same effort to the drug dealing and the prostitution and everything that's happening.
Exactly.
Imagine if they made just a little effort and put at least 1% of that effort into that. How different that would be.
Too much sense, Leon. That makes too much sense, and that'll
and to know that we live in a city
it does.
we're willing to let people die on our streets over a few dollars, literally, because nonprofits want to make sure they make their money. It makes no sense, and again, it's frustrating. But again, I feel like we're definitely hitting them where it hurts. And they can't forget that you're coming for Domingos, but Domingos has a whole community behind him too.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, he sure does.
You're mobilizing not just folks in Boston, you're mobilizing folks in out of state, Brockton, Wilmington, all those folks that come and help us do outreach. When you come for one of these folks that they know that are doing good in the hood out here, they're coming too. So,
Belmont.
So whoever's
making join us May 12th. We'll be on Mass Ave at 2 o'clock. We'll be marching to the State House. You know, no time for litigation. You know what I mean? It's time for us to put the words into action, put our feelings on the table, and let people know that this is unacceptable. This is not going to continue to happen because people are going to be threatened. Listen, you can't threaten my freedom.
Right.
There's no way in the world you can
this
take
type
away.
of work. For this type of work, you're willing to go to, again, I wish they would put this effort into the bullshit that's happening down there on Atkinson Street.
Leon, you know, you hit it like I mean, you hit it like, I mean, like you had the smallest hammer and you was able to hit the biggest nail and you drove it in. Ashley's son would be alive if they honored their own trespassing notices. Her son was murdered by an individual who was issued a trespassing order for being violent, for being a disruption, for causing mayhem. And then come find out her son was murdered by an individual, one, who needed help, two, wasn't supposed to be down there because of the history of violence that individual brought to the area.
Yep.
And three, for us, right? We've been asking for the comfort station to be shut down because of what we witnessed, but they won't close it until their staff members feel threatened.
Right.
But then this is the thing. Are we wrong? We're not, because they've closed it already about 3 times, I believe. Due to what?
Safety.
Stabbings.
The safety.
Feeling unsafe. So it looks like the money is more important than actually coming up with a plan to provide the safety for those that are seeking help. So that's why I read that trespass order, and it's like, wow, they feel threatened with the Mingos, but they don't feel threatened when you walk out there and you see everything that's going on. Imagine if you put that same effort into that.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't even think like that's what the letter says, y'all, that they feel threatened. But do they really feel threatened? Like,
Nah, they don't,
they
man.
really
Come on.
No.
the bull,
No.
honestly. So it's just words on paper, but it's not facts. And if they really wanted to bring this forward, they would have to at some point bring some kind of witnesses to say that they feel threatened. Who's gonna come forward and say that? You know?
Yeah.
Steph,
How many
we gonna push the
conversations?
envelope.
Yeah. How many
We
conversations
gonna
have
push the
you had?
envelope. Bring
Yeah.
your
And I agree
bring
with
your witnesses.
I
Have
agree
them.
with what Leon said. You have a whole community behind you. So if they want to issue trespassing orders, they're going to have to get their ink ready because they're going to have to issue a bunch of trespassing orders because we're all going to be out there.
Yeah. And you know what?
They're not gonna, just by trying to remove you, it's not gonna work. Because like he said, there's a community behind you.
Because we're mobilizing a lot of people, man. You might be able to stop 1 or 2 folks, but if you look online and you see everyone that's getting engaged, that's getting pissed off because they're seeing the stuff that's going down there, families, like, you know how many people are missing every week down there? And we get these messages, can you please share this picture? Can you please share this? If you go down there and tell me if you see my daughter, if you see my son, it's sad what we're doing. So
Yeah.
shame on, I'm sorry, shame on every elected official that's not really coming up with a plan right now, because
And it's
these are not, we're not talking about lost Amazon packages, we're talking about people.
and you know what?
The jobs are on
the
jobs are on the line. That's why it's a big deal now, because their jobs are on the line, because
Yeah.
people are drawing light to the real issue, which is the people that are not doing the work.
Yeah.
And you have to have a tough heart to say, you know what? Let these people die out here and let this go on, because I need my paycheck. Because you can only take so much, man. It's hard. It's hard. Like, again, when I'm out there with you guys, I look at, when I see people bleeding out, man, laying out, no shoes in the middle of the street, like, I can't. That can be my brother, my aunt. I have friends out there right now. I have a few I haven't seen it in a few months, and it's scary. So this is just the beginning, man. Domingos, I'm sorry you got that letter, but I hope they know that. Again, I really feel like this is coming from City Hall. I feel like this is coming from strategy to try to cover up what's going on, but it's too late. You could try covering this up about 5 years ago, but the way things are right now, the only way that you got to go is to try to fix it and come up with a plan, because the needle's coming from every direction. People are getting assaulted in almost every neighborhood, surrounding neighborhood. So you can't hide this anymore.
No,
it's here.
You can't hide it anymore. I mean, for as far as you're saying, as in when it comes to the missing people and stuff like that. Now, if you think about it, and we know and stuff, the people, they come to us. You know, when they go to you go to missing persons, they're supposed to, you know, they don't go report it to the freaking police. Like, they go to the community because they know the effort that we will put for our own people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes no sense that they don't look for help from them, from anything.
People are really hurt out there. And, you know, I find it so shady that they say that, you know, folks feel uncomfortable and intimidated. But every time we go out there, we always run into a conversation that lasts at least an hour, because people are hurting and they just want to let their pain out. They'll tell you how they get sexually assaulted out there, how they don't feel safe inside those shelters, how their things get stolen. We give them a bag of clean clothes and everything, and if they stay in that shelter, they take their stuff. The next day, they're in the same boat again.
Every time.
So I get it. If I was a CEO of one of these nonprofits, and all this is getting exposed, I'd be pretty upset too. But you know what? We're talking about people's lives, and I believe that, like we always talk about lives matter. These lives matter. These people that are struggling out there, and it's not just white people; it's black,
Ooh.
brown people. It's all of our people that are out there.
Hey, you hit the. Hey, listen. You know how they say Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. That's the thing to put, Gahaida. Their lives matter.
Yeah.
It's
They
something
do.
to put.
The
Because
only
when we
people
go
that
out,
feel unsafe are the people that don't get paid from it. That's the point.
exactly.
That's it. The people that feel unsafe are the people that may lose their job because they're not doing what they're supposed to do, and the people that matter, they don't get paid for it. No one can say that Mingos has put anyone on camera or their livelihood out in the open where they feel unsafe, except the people that have a paycheck stuck behind them.
Oh, you talking about the ones that let the two users at Clifford Park sit there, load up, and then walked away, and then the Boston police pulled up and scared them off and left me to go pick up a few syringes full of cooked product that I got on video. I mean, it's again, I don't want anyone to lose their job, but again, if you're gonna do a job, make sure you take that oath and you go with it. When you sign that contract for you to take the position, you agreed to do a job. This is the same thing I go through as a contractor. If I give you a quote and I sign it, you sign it, I can be sued in the court of law for breaking the contract. So why can't we do the same with the city of Boston? We were told that they were going to protect and serve us. Our community is not being protect or served. I've lost a whole football program for a community that needs it.
Yeah.
Because of the lack of accountability coming out of these same people. Leon, we went and put needles inside the health commission. Remember that one?
Yep.
That we went and we dropped off needles in the bottle because we didn't have no way to get rid of them. We couldn't just throw them in the trash cans like they told us. We put it in soda bottles, walked inside the health commission, and put it on their desk and was like, yo, y'all take care of that. I walked up on Marty at a coffee with the mayor at Roland Park after I saved the life of an individual who was suffering, dying, overdosing behind a dumpster while we were cleaning the schoolyard for some students to have a safe playground. Don't get me started, right? And then turn around, the piece of crap says to me, what is that supposed to mean? That's what the families in Roxbury are dealing with when they walk down the street with their kids, going to the corner store, and they're watching people overdosing in the middle of the street. Since you don't want to do nothing about it, I'll collect the needles and you get rid of them. And that was my statement to the mayor. And the next day, I get some BS email for some of his little minions. Listen, you and your minions fly a kite in a hurricane, in a blizzard, and make sure when you do it, there's a freaking thunderstorm.
Oh, man.
Because enough is enough, man.
Don't forget when we tried to get the fencing for the Orchard Gardens, we got to run around. Listen, we're telling these folks, yo, this is a hazard. These are children. The students, basically, when they were going to take out the kids, the teachers had to do a sweep before they let the kids use the park because
back it up, Leon.
Back
it up. They couldn't go outside.
Yep, they first started, they couldn't go outside. So now the kids are suffering from emotional distress because they can't use their own school grounds outside, their own playground to get some energy out. So then we had to do meetings, send like about 50 different emails, to then we had to wait for a bid for the fencing to go up. Then we asked to please be part of the conversation we even told them how we wanted the fencing. We wanted push bars. We wanted the fencing on certain areas. What did they do? They made their own backdoor deals, put up a fence behind the school, called it a day. So it's been such a long ride, man. And it's so disappointing that our kids have gotten pricked by needles. No response. People are dying on our streets. No response.
Leon,
it's sad.
I know you. Look, if you guys look at the chat, so like that, we can be on track with each other. Because I just noticed there's a chat. I didn't know there was a chat on this.
I didn't even see this either. We have a lot.
It was just me and Stephanie. I seen Stephanie here, but I noticed You have a private chat and then you have a comment section. So I'm learning. I've never used like everything we've been doing. We've been like learning. This has been like awesome. So Marla, jump on in there. Marla got a lot to say.
No,
ahead,
not really.
Marla.
Just when you guys were talking about nonprofits, I mean, isn't ultimately the goal of a nonprofit to put itself out of business because it's no longer needed? Instead, they seem to be doing the exact opposite of that.
Wow, that's deep
And
right
that
there.
they're perpetuating the problem. They're doing, you know, the bare minimum. Yeah, they're solving a few problems, but they're interested in staying in business. And the exact opposite is what they ought to be doing.
Wow, that's
And so that was running through my head.
Marla, you've been at this with us for a while, right? Countless meetings, right? Have you seen anything change? Have you seen anything change?
No, it's only gotten worse. They closed Long Island at the beginning of an epidemic, and it's just exploded. And they haven't done anything at all really meaningful to make it better. There's not enough beds. There's not enough wraparound services. There's not enough anything. And if anything, the people working on Atkinson Street should be partnering with us because they know they need better services. They know they need more services. They should be, we should be on the same team as them rather than butting heads with them. And I don't know why they're being so difficult. Unless the message is coming from higher up.
Collaboration. That's all it takes.
Higher up, man. And I find it so funny that I saw that our current mayor sent a tweet out telling families to please step out and enjoy their green space in their parks. And I had to respond.
Funny.
Hey, unfortunately, you know, we here in Roxbury and South End can't do that because they're flooded with needles and people overdosing. Mayor,
I sent you the fire.
It's funny coming from someone who represents this area too. And that's why right now I'm not so excited about our current mayor because as someone who is a district councilor as well and knows about the problems, the fact that she hasn't mentioned anything about it,
oh man,
it says a lot. So I'm personally looking forward to another mayoral candidate that can actually deliver something because at this point, I mean, I'm worried about this summer. I don't know how this summer is going to be for us.
Long and hot and scary.
It's gonna be sad. It's unfair to us, man. It's unfair to everyone out there looking for help. It's unfair.
Well, the great thing is folks continue to add their opinions and their inputs on the solution pieces. We're not just complaining to complain. People are actually coming to the table and they're bringing in solutions to the issues. Are they hearing the solutions to the issues? Doesn't seem like it. Are they willing to let people to the table? Doesn't seem like it. We've asked for a seat at the table with the Mass and Cash Task Force 2.0. They put the 2.0 on it like it's supposed to be faster than the 1.0. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna change my name to like Isa X. So I can, you know, I'm a magnify mine and put some Roman numerals in front so I can magnify myself. But the real reality behind all this is we need folks to step up, folks who are not a part of this group, folks who are watching, folks who can make the phone calls on Wednesday mornings from 9 to 2 to the governor's office, Thursdays to City Hall. So, oh, shoot, I got that. Domingos De Rosa 3.0. I got you.
It sounds good. It sounds good. Like, you know, 2.0, it makes it sound like we're moving forward, but we're really taking 4 steps back. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's cool.
So we need people to join our campaign. You know, we've been planning and strategizing about, you know, May 12th, March, where, you know, we're telling folks addiction is not the enemy. We need folks to sign up for that and come out and support. We need folks to join us on Wednesday mornings when we call this the governor's office, where we're doing phone blitz and email blitz, as Jahida has made clear to everyone. You know, she put a call in. I never got a call back. She actually called to let y'all know and hear what transpired to this automated service and how you're never going to get a physical person. But again, on Thursday,
I like that, Jahida. You got creative.
The gadget.
Did you find that on Christian Mingle? Did you find that picture on Christian Mingles?
Oh man, we needed that. See, that's what I'm talking about. I love this. I love
All
it.
right, I'm dead.
You know, I just want to add for the people who are watching this live, because I feel like we just need to really reiterate that all of us have jobs. We go to school. We have kids. We have extracurricular activities that our kids are involved in. We are doing this as a fourth job, fifth job. We're not getting paid for this. This is not something that we want to do. Like Marla said, you know, the whole goal of a nonprofit is to not exist anymore because there is no need. And although we're not a nonprofit, I think sometimes people think that this is fun to us. Like we want to do this. We want to be out in the rain on Wednesdays, or we want to be, you know, I mean, we do it from the kindness of our hearts, but this is not something that we want to continuously do. So when they're issuing trespassing orders, or when they're personally targeting us, or when we ask other people, look, make a call your governor's office, or, you know, share this on social media. We're asking for the very, very bare minimum, because we're already stretched so thin. You know, we're real life community members. Like we're real life people who see this all the time. We live in the community. We're all Bostonians, you know. We're from 617, you know, 3 strikes, right? Like this is where we're from, and I think people
on dogs
that before they on dead dogs, right?
On dogs.
Understand this before they start coming at us, you know, because this is not something that we want to do forever, or we want to do, period, you know. And Bingos, you said earlier, like, oh, we don't want people to lose their jobs. I guess you're gonna have to speak for yourself on that one, because if you're not doing your job, I'm okay with you losing your job, right? Because people are losing their lives. So if you're losing your job, that's okay. For me, you know, if it's gonna save the life of somebody else, you know what I mean? It's important that, like, I mean, if we're coming hard right now. We have this platform. People are listening. People are watching. But they have to know. That we're not going to stop right now. And if it requires losing the job, then I mean, then it is what it is.
But I think people have been hearing. They have been hearing. The issue is that that's all they've been doing. They've just been hearing us. They haven't been listening to what we've actually been saying and putting our plans into action. They just check it off by saying that they heard us. Yeah, we heard what you had to say. We're going to sit down with you in a Zoom meeting and hear what you have to say. But we're causing enough momentum in this conversation because we're bringing to light how this is not only concentrated in the South End and in Roxbury, but because of the inaction of officials, it's trickling down to Dorchester, it's trickling down to downtown Boston, it's trickling down to Mattapan, and we're getting more people in the conversation. And the more people in this conversation, the less they can stop listening, because then it becomes a united voice that they cannot ignore. And that's what they don't like. They don't like the fact that right now we're causing a united voice on this issue, especially when, like Leon said, when we look at who represented this district, we can see the inaction they had behind when it comes to Mass and Cass. And so that's what it is. I think we are in the right trajectory. We're causing enough momentum, and we're getting on their nerves enough to show that what we're doing is causing them to feel nervous and anxious in some type of way. And as someone who has worked in the substance use disorder field, I can tell you that there are nonprofits that just check boxes. There are nonprofits who just check boxes and continue to meet with a participant month after month after month in order to continue to get a check, in order to continue to get paid for giving that person case management efforts. And so I, as someone who has worked in the field, can tell you that there are holes within the nonprofit substance use disorder, you know, field. There are very loopholes. There's not a lot of accountability or transparency. And that's what this group is putting a fire under. And that's why they're getting nervous.
And I agree with Jacob. Jacob, you're right on point, because Leon and Mingles has been working on this for years, and only now have they been getting non-trespass orders, etc. So that means that somebody's listening. Finally.
And like I said, it's election season right now, so everybody's fighting for power. You know, we have acting mayor, however you want to call it right now, who's running for mayor. And again, if you was in that seat, You don't want this stuff to come out to light, especially if you don't want to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Or
So
if that district belonged to you.
exactly, it looks bad. It calls for new leadership. You know what I mean? It calls for bold leadership. It's bad all around, and I'm excited that we're still pushing here because again, we haven't seen no change, man. For the last few years, things have been worse. They tried to use COVID as an excuse. COVID was not an excuse for this. It just highlighted what's been going on for years. So we're over that. So I'm just we just got to keep pushing, man, and see how far we get to. But again, like you said, we have an end goal. We want people to have the opportunity to get clean, to get supportive housing, because it's clear that what we're doing right now is not working. Like I have a full-time job. I have 3 kids. I don't have time. I make the time. I push myself to get into this. But it's also because every time I drive with my daughter down Mass Ave, she's like, Bobby, why? Her new line is, why are they getting a COVID shot? Bobby, what's that? Why are they giving each other a COVID shot? It gets to the point. What am I going to tell her next year? What am I going to tell her the next year when she sees even more? You know what I mean? People banging their head on cement. Like, it's crazy. But at the same time, I'm also afraid about a lot of these progressive views because if you look at other states, some of these progressive policies have done more harm than good to the community. I just saw and I shared an article where in Austin they lifted the ban on encampments in public spaces. Now you got communities that you got beautiful houses on one side and across the street you got 100 tents. That clearly
That's what my house looks like now, Leon. My house is on one side and there's tents
that's
in the
not
park.
really the solution. So we can't get lost in that whole harm reduction and that whole progressive conversation where we end up just giving people the tools of their suffering versus actually giving them an opportunity to get clean. So that's where I'm at too, man. But yeah, that's all my piece, man. Let's just keep pushing.
Well, I thank you guys for your support.
Yes, sir. Dave wanted to say something, right?
Oh, Dave, jump in.
Yep.
Wait, Dave
He's
is
not big
Dave?
on camera, so just
Dave was always listening in the background. He
Yes.
probably got us on the scanner.
Always.
Listen.
I'm here. You know, I just was just surfing on the computer and just reread that post that Justin Downey made a couple days ago regarding how he was treated by the city officials. And there's something in that that's very significant that you might skip over. And that is the fact that Jen Tracy has told him to his face that no one has ever died out there. What are you worried about? Now, that may come off as just a conversation to one person, but she reports back. So if I was her boss and she told me these things, I'd be more inclined to believe her than us. And that really got me worried and thinking about it, because if this is really how the city and the politicians actually see this, like there really is no problem, we got a bigger task ahead than just trying to bring it to light. We need to actually basically call them out. And that is tough.
We coming for them, okay?
And I saw that statement, and that's a shady statement because last time we were out there, not this Wednesday, but the last Wednesday that I was there, we had someone from the Universal Church tell us to move one of the cars. And I had asked her, what are you doing about everything that's going on around your space? She said, well, nothing. When people die in front of our church, we just call the ambulance and come pick them up. So that said a lot. I'm like, wow. I'm like, oh, so people dying there? Yeah, people die all the time in front of the church. We just call the ambulance and they pick them up. So
what you have to note is they word it very carefully. They say no one died in the tent or no one died in the
yeah. You're right. There you go. Yep, that's the loophole.
You know, so that's very targeted. You hear didn't die in the tent.
But that's the data that they bring back to the mayor, that they bring back to the Public Health Commission. and they look at us like, oh, we're just a bunch of rabble rousers. Obviously,
or we're making it up.
That's not the truth, because our person says that no one's ever died there.
Like, we're just bored. We have nothing else to do, so we're just deciding
and
to
I don't
do all
want to
this
come off
stuff.
that way. I mean, I've been fighting
Exactly.
off and on. I've been fighting this fight for a whole hell of a long time. And you know, you get to the point where you pick up the phone and you call 311 and you get a hold of some young girl who's on the phone, not even a girl necessarily, but you get somebody who listens to you, and she's actually sympathetic. And then she's going to send this information off to this person and this person and this person. And you keep getting that round circle. And you get this glimmer of hope. And then you find out 3 days later, nothing was done or nothing was said. There was no follow-up email. There was nothing. And when you call back, you just start the whole process all over with another person.
Yep.
And I'm just wondering if we're just being seen as like, I know you want to be a thorn in somebody's side, but maybe we're just being seen as, you know, that group of people that just bother somebody, and we have to step it up. And maybe you don't want to lose your job. Maybe we got to take people's jobs away from them.
Well, Dave,
You know,
May 12th, we want about 100 people to march with us to the State House. Our minimum got to be 100. If we can get more than that, that'd be great. People who are watching, people who are listening, people who care.
Right.
We're doing it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, May 12th, to make sure that we get enough folks to show up on Mass and Cast and take a walk to the State House to show the people the importance of what we've been doing. Because these loved ones.
Maybe you and Leon and you know, the other guys, maybe you should go down there and say and give this opportunity for some of them people down there that are out there to march with you.
Oh, we gave out flyers. But we're gonna go down there and do some outreach.
Let them march.
So
if you really got a speech from somebody who was lucid, that lived down there and is living down there, not lived down there in the past, because you can always make a little story up about how we had help and this and everything. I'm talking somebody who's actually there right now to make those speeches of what's going on down there for real. It might be pretty powerful.
That's a good idea.
Listen, we were talking about getting a bus full, taking them to Baker's house for brunch. They got a nice what is it, farmer's market. That's what pissed them off with Mom's car. That we were talking to people at the farmer's market and we were gaining their attention, and they were like, "We got black people out here? When did this happen? How they move into the neighborhood? They're like them dudes on Belly. We got some new dudes in town. You know what I mean? The dude with the Coke bottles, glasses. But we need to have folks who are watching and listening to get off the sideline and get in the game with us. Make the phone calls. Okay, Stephanie said it. Jahada said it. Marla said it. Damadi said it. Tatiana said it. Jacob said it. Alexa said it. Izzy said it. Leon said it. I've said it. Dave said it. I mean, everyone in the group have said it. We can't do it without your help. We can't grow without your help. No, we don't want toxic people that's going to come into the space and make it a personal agenda where I was and I am. And no, listen, it's not all about I. It's about we and us. Okay, I got issues too, but that's not what I put out in the front. The concern is the people who don't have a voice, the people who don't have the mental capacity to advocate for them. During our news conference on a Monday with Channel 5 and a couple of other stations, we spent almost an hour talking to an individual who gave us a name she preferred to be called by. Not her legitimate name, but she said she needed a name that would keep her spirits up, and she liked it, this particular name.
Go clean your hands.
And she turned around and says to us, there's women down here who are waking up being raped. There's women down here who are being abused physically and emotionally by individuals, and they make a report and nothing happens because they look at us less than. And she continued on to tell us about individuals who are considered serial rapists. That was 2 weeks ago on a Monday. Tomorrow makes 3 weeks. Less than 3 weeks, we get a news clip of an individual who's being arrested and is on the federal list as a serial rapist.
Right. Warrant. Yep. He failed to register as a sex. He failed to register himself as a sex offender and other things too. It was.
So if I'm a threat, right, and I only go down there to help, how about the individuals who are actually down there causing havoc, causing threats that we see making hand-to-hand deals, that are jumping out of their cars?
Right.
They're parking their cars in the parking lot at McDonald's. You watch them get out the cars. They look like they're going to the club, okay? They jump out, they walk over to Axton Street, they do their thing, they come back 2 hours later, and then they leave.
With kids in the car.
With the kid in the car. Remember? Nobody even noticed that until they pulled out that couple. Man, listen. I even said that. I was like, what? I was like, kid in the car? No shame.
The community is desensitized. The staff is desensitized. The police is desensitized. The EMTs is desensitized. And we who are not are always going to be the bad guys because we see the truth behind the matter. They're mad at the exposure that we continue to do on the issue, the lack of not only interest, but the lack of support and the way they go about it. Giving somebody a needle is not supporting them. Okay, when you're kicking somebody out of the engagement center at 4 o'clock and then pushing them along, same umbrella, City of Boston, same umbrella. You got an engagement center, and then 4:30 when the staff lets off, keep it pushing, keep it moving, keep it pushing, keep it moving. We got it on video. Of course, you're mad at it.
Right.
We're not putting pictures of the individuals. We're not showing somebody ODing. We're not showing somebody looking for a vein using a cell phone. Someone having someone else shoot them up. Oh shoot. That's that comment. Look at that. Yachty, you be on it.
Who's that? Oh my goodness.
I'm not here to spin the wheel or hamster wheel, whatever it is that you say, right? I just, for me, like another thing that I'm just trying to figure out, what is the end and goal, guys? We can go down there and pass out food, clothes, donate our time, not once, not twice, 3 to 4 times a week. How is that improving the situation down there? What are we mobilizing, or what is the ultimate goal of really getting people into treatment and recovery? I'm just trying to figure out what is the goal.
Well, I would say I'm pretty sure. I mean, some folks agree that part of the goal is to have our mayor and also our governor. I mean, the governor's race is coming up next year, so maybe we can have some type of commitment. But we need, on one end, we need someone on the mayor's level to commit to saying, listen, what we're doing right now is not working. So here are some solutions that have been presented, like using vacant city and state property to create supportive emergency housing, just like we did with COVID, where we were able to open the Heinz Convention and all these other places, doing the same thing and not telling us, oh, it's going to take 5 years. We need an immediate plan. So I'm pretty sure that what we want to see here as a community is immediate action, where we don't have all these individuals overdosing on one street here in Roxbury, where we can actually get these folks into a space where they can get clean. Because a lot of the people will tell you out there right now that they can't get clean. They can walk into a program, they walk outside, all their friends are shooting up. It's impossible. So I'm pretty sure part of the goal is to get the mayor to start looking into some bold ideas where they partner up with other mayors in the state, or even just look at spaces in Boston. Don't worry if JP doesn't want it. Take the shack building, figure something out, because that's another problem. We start advocating for, okay, let's decentralize services. But then these folks that are from out of Boston or out of this area, who are for safe injection sites and all these cool things, don't want it in their yard. They'll sit there and do meetings after meetings and say, hey, this is the solution. This is why you guys, why it's not working. But we're like, okay, so why can't we start practicing that in your neighborhood? Oh, no, we should put it over here in the black and brown communities.
Because it's supposed to go where everyone congregates, right? That's the excuse. That's what they tell us.
I mean, but if that's the case, then we have to Roxbury, Dorchester, and all these areas where folks are just spreading.
Leon, I don't want to cut you off, but I'm gonna give you the answer to that. Look at the percentages of votes that come out of that area. There's no votes in that area.
Yep.
It's a commercial area. The owners of the buildings don't live in the area. There's probably 6 houses in that area.
Yeah.
Okay, 6. All commercial. And Suffolk's construction wants to buy that whole area, right?
And they happen to be part of the Mass and Cast Task Force.
So a little info for people watching and people who are on this call with us, right? Suffolk's back in 2013 put a petition into the city of Boston to have a helicopter pad put on that parking lot that's next door to the building they own. They were denied because of the city ordinance that wouldn't allow them to do that. So they pushed back and said, how come Boston Medical has a helipad? And they said they have a helipad because it's in a hospital, right? So they're looking to get rid of the residents that live in that area. So Suffolk buy the rest of it. Suffolk owns just about all that down there.
Yeah.
Them and the Lewis Foundation owns half of those buildings down there. So they want to take it. How do you take it? Get the occupants to get frustrated at the conditions of living and say, you know what? Nada más. I gotta go. I'm leaving. I can't deal with this no more. And they're leaving by the boatloads. Look how many kids are being withdrawn from Orchard Gardens, the Mason. How many kids are having traumatic experiences with no wraparound services? Okay, my kids go to school in Concord. They have a DARE officer that comes into the school to talk about substance use disorder, drugs, period. The Mason has one. Orchard Gardens, the Blackstone. None of the schools in that area is getting. Madison Park has a section of the school that they're living in the encampment, but you can't see it unless you go into the courtyard. It's pretty much where the stadium seats are in the football field. There's an area that's like in the garage area that you can't see unless you actually go down there. And they got an encampment there. Folks have sent me pictures of people living there and using that area to do what they do down on Mass and Cass. But because that area doesn't really have a lot of foot traffic, it's not being, spoken on. Plus school hasn't been in session. So no one's there to report it. So there's more to this. There's layers and layers and layers to this situation. But again, exactly what we've been saying from the jump. What is the end goal? How do we get there? We've tried every avenue to bring in elected officials to join the conversation, to put their solutions on the table so we can help push it forward. If you need more outreach workers, give us the training. We'll do it. You need more people to feed people? Give us the training. We'll do it. But instead, they rather come out and tell us, you can't feed people, you need a permit. You can't clothe people, you need a permit. When we came down there after 3 days of raining, within an hour, we had maybe 5,000, 6,000 pounds of clothes gone. Everything gone. They were coming. Folks, individuals were coming, asking, you don't got, even this Friday, we had people drive up on us. We were on Everything I Love. The people that were there were co-signed this. We were standing there talking about how we can increase the amount of foods that we can bring in. Look at that.
Y'all see that, right? Boston police saves a man's life at BMC overnight. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Look at this. Look at this.
That was at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, man. This is bananas, yo. Look at this, yo. This
But
is
that's journalism. That's journalism, though. So what we do is not journalism. That's journalism. I mean, you can't get no closer to the guy's face. And my whole thing is, where's the medical staff from the building?
Yeah.
I don't see any security from BMC, because I usually when I go in BMC, there's always like a handful of security guards who are like, you know, super uptight about you sitting in the emergency room.
Yep. Wow.
Well, listen, guys, it's Sunday night. We've been on here for an hour and a half. Folks on Facebook have been listening to us for an hour and a half. We need you. Listen, again, that sign that, you know, in the middle of Mass and Cash with the help, that picture was taken for a reason. We need help. When I say we, us, me, this group, folks on individuals on Mass and Cash needs help. This is not about popularity. This is not about being on the this is about being on the right side of the fence, where people are actually going to come back and say, yo, you know, what you guys did helped me get on track. What you guys were able to pull off helped get folks back on track. We hear a lot of that. Every time we give out a meal, every time we give someone a jacket, they say to us, thank you and God bless you. We'll give them something, take another one. No. Give it to someone else. You sure? Yeah. I got it. I got what I need. Just humble, grounded people. We had a young man talk to us, me and Marla, for almost an hour. He wants to volunteer. He wants to know how he can be a difference. His brother committed suicide. His cousin overdosed. He's at the end of his wits. He's looking for something to save him. And he was like, you back on Friday? Yes. What time? 5:30. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And, you know, I look at Marla. Marla looked at me. Susie looked at me. I looked at Susie. And, you know, you want to sit there and bawl and cry and feel like, damn, you know, I wish I had more. But we don't. All we can do is keep showing up Monday through Sunday and wish and keep wishing that someone in power, like the mayor and the governor, will actually take executive order, right? Marty, you know, to make the black community, you know, feel favored of him, he declared racism a mental health issue in Boston. Okay, but none of the other issues that affects the systematic racism he didn't fix. This is an issue that affects, as we learned, the number one individual ODing or going through substance use disorder and dying is Latino males. Those are numbers, facts. So we cannot continue to allow our elected officials to tell us apples and oranges are two different things. They're fruit, period. They are fruit. What's going on with the blacks, the Latinos, and the whites on Mass and Cash affects all demographics of folks, all religions, all races. There's no one group doing better than the other group. Yes, we might have higher numbers in one versus the other. But again, humans are dying. The conditions are inhumane. You shouldn't have to lean against a pole, pull your pants down, and poop because they locked the porta potties at 4 o'clock. I'd rather see those porta potties placed in sections where at least they can go and use it at 2 o'clock in the morning versus pooping on the side of the road or on somebody's stoop.
But I mean, the problem is, Domingos, that we're in a really weird place, right? And I think none of us have really addressed this, right? So you got multiple different groups working on multiple different issues. We got groups of people who are wanting to defund the police and all that foolishness, right? Then we are a community who's saying, yo, I think we need the police over here. Like, so who's going to monitor the porta potties? Who is, I mean, we're working. This group is like the group who's
Health Commission Police.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we're in the middle of multiple different groups working to dismantle systems, not really thinking about the ending issue, like you said. So we're defunding the police, we're reforming this, but where is the plan to address that issue as a whole? We haven't thought about that deep. So we can defund the police, right? Everybody's like, yo, the police overtime, whatever. Then listen, I don't got no beef with the police. I might have my, my feelings or whatever the case may be. I'm not getting into all of that. But I'm just trying to figure out, where is the plan if we do defund the police and we start, people start getting fired or people start losing, members or whatever the case may be. So when we start looking like Chicago, right? Because Chicago's out of control. Are we gonna pick up the phone? Who we gonna call? The Ghostbusters? Who we gonna call? Like, who are we gonna call? Because I know for me, I want to be able to pick up the phone if somebody's robbing me or trying to come break in my house in the middle of the night. I want to call the police. I'm gonna call a social worker? How long is it gonna take the social worker to get to my house?
But that's part of the issue. If the police were available to attend to your house being robbed because they didn't have to deal with trying to figure out why some guy is dancing half naked in the middle of mass and Cass, an outreach worker could handle that, a clinician could handle that. The police would be free to do actual police work instead of outreach work, which they're not trained for. They're trained for aftermath, for dealing with after something really crappy has happened. They shouldn't be in front of that because they're not trained for that. However long they spend at the police academy, I don't know, but they're not trained for de-escalation of mental health issues. And that's part of the problem. We want to be allies with the police to some degree. We want the police to back up the outreach workers. We want the police to be there in case things go sideways with a clinician. But we don't want the police to be the first person, somebody who's in a state of, mental chaos or under the influence of drugs, and they see a policeman, which for a whole bunch of those people is a humongous trigger. Let's get people what they need. I mean, I support defunding the police in the sense that there's a whole bunch of people sitting down there collecting overtime doing nothing. They're not stopping drug sales. They're not stopping prostitution. They're not stopping anything. Their presence is not a deterrent to anything. So, that's money down the drain as far as I'm concerned. Reallocate those funds to something more useful, like the best team. So, that's just what
I'm with you, Marla.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to abolish the police. When I find a dead guy on my porch, I'm calling 911, and I want them to show up real fast.
Nope.
I want the police, for their purpose, but they're in a lot of ways they're
$4
being
million
asked to do things that are not their purpose, and that's where a lot of conflict comes from.
4 million divided by the hours in a year. See what they're spending per hour. That area consumes $4 million in overtime. That's not even the regular hours of service officers put in. The line item for the city, I think, is something like $20 million for homelessness, substance use disorder, and mental health illnesses. And putting more money into something doesn't always fix the issue. Sometimes taking a step back and looking at what is working versus what's not working, adding new ideas. We shared a video of Chicago and the DA, and since the DA took office, the crime rate has tripled. The murders have tripled because the proactive agenda, like Leon had said, the proactive agenda, who was supposed to help, decriminalize being black, actually increased a lot of the violence in the city because, people get arrested and let out. When you're seeing videos of people, basically walking up to somebody and shooting them in the back of the head and have no remorse, no hesitation. I feel bad even when I pick my dog up. Like, do I pick her up by her hair? Do I pick her up? How do I pick her up? Do I cradle her like a baby? So we can go on and on about this. We've been on this for an hour and 40 minutes. I know you guys are getting tired. Folks need to go do a few things for themselves to get the night together. I appreciate the support. And, I'm not going to stop because the issue hasn't gone away. I don't care how much they put this invisible Band-Aid on it because that's what they think they're doing. Stop Domingos, and they won't have any more videos of how the exchange program is no good, or the police telling people to keep it pushing. Again, the photojournalists can take pictures of people basically dying from bullet wounds in the middle of Dorchester. No one says nothing. But then on this situation, people's privacy doesn't exist. When they're dragging us out of the house in handcuffs, people's privacies don't exist. But again, on the back end of it, you know, using the law to their favors, you know, discarded needles is a public safety hazard in Swampscott, but it's not in Roxbury and South End and Southie and Dorchester. In our community, it's not a risk. You know, I don't see needle triages in Quincy. I don't see poop response teams in Quincy. I don't see poop response teams in Swampscott where the taxes are about $3 difference per thousand on us. We're paying like $10 and some change. They're paying like $14. Well, yes, the property tax is a little different, but again, the median income is at $270. It's a big difference, right? But those are the stuff people don't want to talk about. But this is what this group does. We find the information and we share it. We share what we learn because we're learning. We're learning how to be a part of the process instead of being kept outside the process. We're allowing people to come into the space, share experiences, and use their best skills to be able to add to the conversation. And this is why we're a threat. We are a threat because we are willing to learn and accept our roles as individuals on how we can go about addressing a lot of these concerns that we have. Izzy, Isa X, anything y'all want to add? Marla, Tatiana?
We're coming for you guys, okay?
Yeah, like I say, all we got, like I said, we just gonna keep on pushing. You know, the thing is with them that the way that we come, we don't come the way they want. You get what I'm saying? As far as to getting in trouble and being violent and everything, we could come at them. You know, like I was talking to Jahida the other day, right? We could come at them quietly to a point where like we could show up somewhere and like I said we could sit there quietly, have signs or something that hey, listen, I don't need to. We don't. You got to just see what. We gotta keep pushing, man. That's it. I'm gonna continue to keep pushing with you guys as long as it takes.
We got t-shirts on sale for people that are listening, help fund what we do. They're $20 a t-shirts. These are quality t-shirts. Shout out to Boston Tea Factory for helping us be able to put that together. We also got another campaign on stickers and flyers that we're trying to put together so we can put out there so folks can actually see some of the context that we've been doing. This is all voluntary based. It took us a long time to get to this space where we're like, listen, we need to ask folks to help us fund some of this. We've been putting our own money into this, which we don't mind, but it's getting a little costly. We're going into almost a year with the South End Roxbury Community Partnership. And this group here is the baddest community organization in Boston. We get stuff done. We don't have no agenda that's being pushed by outside resources. This is an agenda for the community to empower the community and have the community grow in different aspects. We are the reason why a lot of groups are out there feeding people. We get called to come and do security. Me and Izzy, we do more security than we want to do because we look and see and pick up on the violent situations before they happen. And the moms on the mile and the folks from Needham and the folks from Belmont and the folks who are coming from other organizations, they call us, they inbox this group. Can y'all join us? Can y'all show up and help us? We don't know what to do. You guys do. How can we be effective? What day is a perfect day for, oh shoot, you done dropped everybody's name? Oh shoot, girl.
See, these are the, what am I, you know? Oh,
I just want to add something.
Don't let her use speed.
Could you hear me?
Yes, baby.
This is a human rights crisis that's happening. And where is Baker? Where are you? But
he's 6'6".
But no, seriously, in America violate human rights all the time. from immigrants, migrants to refugees, and to us that is living in this country, right? So like I said, I'm a conflict resolution. I have a bigger fish to fry, and it's the American system. So we have to dismantle the whole system. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Don't ever be sorry for.
I know I'm not sorry. I'm not. No.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. I'm a very blunt person, and I'm like I said, I'm coming for all the public officials that's not doing their job.
She's right about that. She's right. That's why I like her passion.
Their job. All they want is their power, and all they want is to worry about who voted for them, who take care of them. They don't. They need to take care of the American people.
Well, listen, the goal is, again, to bring in folks who might not have interest. But, I mean, I said this to Chris's project the other day. There's over 2,300 families affected yearly because of the substance use disorders, overdoses, right? This is an ongoing population. There's more people ODing in Massachusetts than they are dying from car accidents. There's more people dying from ODing than gunshots. There's more people dying from overdoses than a lot of other medical issues. So when the governor doesn't take that as a health crisis, it tells you the importance of people's lives. When individuals tell you that the white officers treat them like shit, and they're white, and they say they treat us like crap because they didn't expect us to be in this position. I said, but that's regardless the point. It should be about helping everybody. Then you kind of see the tone. He says they rather not help us, just like they don't help anyone else because they look at it as less than. We're not supposed to be out here strung out. We're not supposed to be out here sleeping on the corners. And I'm listening to this dude, and he's telling me this from the heart because this is what they're telling him, his peers, dudes he grew up with, dudes he went to school with, who are now police officers, telling him how they feel about him. And he's coming back and telling us this is why he's trying his best to help others. Because it's not fair when you're in a situation and the person who's sitting next to you might not look like you, but he's out there every day fighting the same demons you fighting, sleeping on the same pavement you sleeping, eating out of the same dumpster you eating out of, and no one wants to really help you because their mentality is there is no hope for them. You can't tell somebody there's no hope. If you're not willing to put your best foot forward, there's no hope for you. It's not them, it's you that got no hope. You don't have a heart. Because if you don't see what goes on and want to be, a part of the solution, man, listen, we can talk about this all night.
Right.
No plan, no vote. No plan, no vote.
Right.
No plan, no votes. And also, I just wanted to say lastly, if you are watching this broadcast and you heard everything that we're saying, and you are either live in the community in the Boston area, because it affects all of us. It doesn't matter if you're not in the South End area or Roxbury area. It affects all of us and all of our children, despite the fact that, crack was put in our communities years ago, and it seems as if this should be normal, but this is not normal for us nor our kids to witness. So I just want to encourage you guys that are watching to please, if you cannot come out on Wednesday, if you want to help in any way, just donate, because we have the hands and feet to do it, but we need all the hands on deck as possible. So if you find yourself wanting to help and feeling moved to help, let's get the word out, because there's power in the people. So that's all I wanted to say, and everyone have a good night and just keep pushing. I'm so proud of every single one of y'all. God bless.
About to
Don't ask me to go with you to the bathroom no more.
You guys are the best.
Listen, you held me down. You held me down, and you know what? There's a purpose behind it, because that wasn't nobody's intention. I don't care what they're saying. We came in there with great intentions. Even the people there were very happy that we brought light to that, that even happened, because that Domingo, and we were speaking up for them, because this is things that they experience on a daily, and luckily we have a voice, and we're not strung out on drugs or things like that. So we're speaking up, but they don't. Those people, if they speak up, they can't go back. But we don't have to go there. So luckily, it was us and not them. But at the end of the day, it had to happen, Domingo. It had to happen.
It's what you just said there. It's key what you just said there, because they don't realize that these individuals who really need help, if they say something, they put out on the streets even further.
Mm-hmm.
They can't even use the porta potties if they put on that list of folks who can't enter the area, folks who are going down there advocating for themselves, because there's a lot of them who will speak for themselves. Yeah. And when they do, they're met with resistance from the staff as being aggressive. My aggression is my passion. It got nothing to do with aggression. If I was aggressive, trust and believe, we wouldn't have a conversation. There wouldn't be no dialogue. It'd be a whole nother turnaround. That's not why we out there helping people. We out there helping people because you know why? That can be me. All the trauma I've gone through and the people that live around me has gone through, that can be me. My house catch on fire, that can be me. I lose my job, that can be me. I get prescribed a prescription and I wind up strung out on it, that can be me. I can have a death in the family, that can be me. I can try to find a way to cope with a lot of the issues that I face, and I can be writing that page right with the same people who at one time I might have walked by, stepped over, and looked down upon. And that's what I've been asking folks. If that was you on that ground, would you want me to step over you? If it was you that lost your home, would you want me not to have no interest? So I'd rather be a part of the solution and fix what's going on down there. So when I do need to go down there, it'll actually be worth my time and I can get back on track. We got another family that reached out to us that caught their house caught on fire.
Yeah.
Right? We got a message saying that there's a family looking to raise money to get back on their feet during this pandemic because their house caught on fire and they had children involved and they have nowhere to go. So this group is giving people hope. This group is giving people somewhere to go to ask for support. So no matter how many orders they might issue, we on it.
Yeah.
They need respect. They need respect as human beings.
Hey girl, can I get that mask? I like that mask. So I'll talk to y'all later. Love you guys. Right. You don't want controlling this. I don't know how to exit this.
Leave studio.
I can't read out the Boston Public.
Hey, guess what? See, I'm on my phone, so all I have to press is that X button, and I'm out. You see that? That's how easy.
It's leave studio if you're on laptop.
Yeah, so dope. All of you
everybody have a good night. God bless. Stay safe.
See you Wednesday.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Go ahead, Maddie. Oh, the Maddie left.
Oh, shit. The three Stooges. I mean, this is why I love you guys. You know what I mean? It's like we wake up and we go to sleep trying to make a difference with the titles we hold. Mom, dad.
Yeah.
2 moms and a dad. I mean, there's a show, two men and a half a child, but people who are listening to us, you know, a lot of them respect what we're doing, you know, controversy to what other people might think, you know, and it's usually the ones who feel that, you know, we're a threat, you know, to their livelihoods. We're not trying to take nobody's job. We're trying to save someone's life. You know, people are dying down in this area. People are looking for a shining star. People are looking for support. People are looking for someone to talk to for 10 minutes, you know, and when we're down there, thousands. I mean, it feels like thousands because they don't stop coming, you know, and there's a wave. After 8 o'clock, there's a whole nother group of people who come out there.
And they come with different energy. They're
very different.
So we who've been navigating the trenches have picked up the heartbeat of the area. We understand what's going on because 7 o'clock, all the staff from the comfort station, they're gone at 7.
Yeah.
So there's no outreach work at night. Besides BPD saying move along.
And move along to where? People have nowhere to go. Corner to corner.
Did you see the new comfort station they building?
That's a new engagement center.
But did you see how big it is? Why not build something as big as the South Bay House of Correction where you can put 1,000 beds?
Yeah. And what they're gonna do with the roundhouse since they're not gonna renew the contract?
Well, the people that own it, they're gonna do something else with it. They want to put it back to the hotel so they can make that money. But my whole thing is, I mean, that space between the new engagement center, the bubble, which is the engagement center. You know, so crazy, y'all. We got to get that footage. We got to get that footage of Fox 25 undercover when they went in there and the guy was asking them to buy drugs. I just remembered that.
Oh yes,
And that was the first video. And Fox 25 didn't get a harassment, trespassing.
No, D is you. It's you. It's just you.
Oh my God, my mama told me this a long time ago. What's up, nephew? You got a haircut. You know, but the ultimate reality is young men like your son are losing opportunities in the community because Jim Rice Field, where you grew up in Lenox, and the kids in that area don't have a safe place to go play. And then we have everybody talking about Earth Day. I didn't know the Earth was shooting up too. I didn't understand that when I see needles, protruding the ground and sticking up. On Molina Cass, when you walk down Molina Cass, and you see it, needles just sticking out the ground like somebody was throwing darts. Someone just throwing darts, and wherever they land.
Sort of crazy city flowers.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that's what goes in my park.
I know for me, it's getting increasingly hard to even publicly talk about this because I want to come out I want to say some really toxic. You know what I mean?
No, it's called French.
Yes, I want to say something.
You want to speak French?
Yes, fluent French, fluent, very fluent. But I can't do that, because
you only have 3 words in French, so words repeated over and over.
Yep, and you know what that is, right? But I don't know, guys. All right.
But love you, ladies. It was dope. We've been out here for 2 hours, and people are still watching. People
Am I
are
still talking to you?
What up, man? See your haircut.
Bye, live stream.
Look at that.
Go get ready. Go get ready. Get your stuff ready for school. All right, guys.
For real.